So in this video, we're going to build out an AI automation, and it's really, really cool because it's going to help small businesses. So if you have a small business, stick around. And if you're an agency, you can sell this to small businesses. It's going to do what current CRMs are doing for a fraction of the cost. It's going to use automation, free tools. And we're going to pretty much pick out a small business. I'm going to go with pet grooming. You can do barbers or mechanics or whatever you want. And we're going to build out everything from the website through to the appointment booking, the appointment confirmation, and then once the appointment's complete, were there a no-show, or if they did attend the appointment, how did they feel about it? Was it good? Was it bad? Let's get their feedback. Let's follow up with them. And we're going to go down two different paths based off of their feedback. If they're happy, we're going to take them to a specific destination, probably a Google review. If they're unhappy, we're going to try to retain that customer. We're going to take them through back to our website. We're going to maybe enter them into a lucky draw, give them a little bit of a discount code. We're going to go through that entire path, and we're going to use free tools to do it. So without any further ado, I would say grab a coffee, sit down, relax, take out your notebook, and let's get into this. So what we want to start with is a Paperform module within Make.com. Right, so we'll create a Paperform module and we'll create a new submission. Now we have to link that to Paperform itself. So I've created the pet grooming booking form, but if you go create form, there's a whole bunch you can select from. So there's agreement forms, appointment forms, every single type of form that you can think of, you can create. So if we go back and we open up the pet grooming booking form, this is a template that I have. This is a booking form that I've created. So this is Pampered Paws grooming booking form. Thought of Pampered Paws as the company name. And if you go and launch this, we look at the website that the customer would see, is they're going to get a booking form. You want to book your pet in. I want to book Precious in for a groom. I would go and fill out this information, right? So when we go to Make.com, we want to create a webhook. You want to create my new submission webhook. So this is going to be our, appointment form. Let's call it that. If we could put a little emoji of a dog, a little dog emoji. And our form we're going to select is, once you've connected this to Paperform, which is very simple to do, you will basically select your booking form. So we're going to select our pet grooming booking form and we're going to save. So we've recreated this. There we go. Perfect. And now we're going to try and see if it works, right? So let's say run once. So the model's not set up. Let's just go down and say, okay, so let's run once. So you'll see there it says waiting for data, right? So we have to go to our pet booking form and we have to fill out some information, right? So let's go and put in Precious. My pet is a dog. Precious is very friendly. And we're going to do a full service. And then we're going to fill out our information. So I'm Jagger, my email address, my phone number, and then we're going to choose the 15th of August, and let's book her in for 6 p.m. Submit. Submission successful. Perfect. So now let's go back to Make.com. That ran through, and it's basically loaded in a whole bunch of data that we've entered. So if you go to the data file over here, you can see all these different categories of data, right? So what is your pet name? Precious is the value. My pet is a dog. I would describe my pet as friendly. So it's basically taken all of our data and collated it into Make.com, into this module, right? Into this data bundle. So that's the first step. So we've got our Paperform set up, right? That's sorted. You can add anything you want here. You can add different questions and different data types. So you can really go crazy and build out any form you want for any type of businesses, any type of business that you are, or any type of business that you're creating, or that you're selling to. So once you've got that sorted, let's just close up some of these. So let's close that. So we're going to come back to Make.com. Then we are going to create our next module. Okay, so now we've filled out the paper form. So we've got our customer details, and now we want to fill out a confirmation email. That's going to be sent to them. So we'll add a Gmail module, and you can do that by, let me just show you here. If you delete that module, you just click add a module, click Gmail. And what we want to do is we want to create a draft. Normally you would send an email, but I don't want to be sending a ton of emails. So let's just create a draft and basically create a connection to Gmail. So I've connected one of my email addresses. You choose a folder within Gmail. So in this case, we're going to go to the drafts folder. That's where it will sit. We're going to add a recipient. And in this email address, the recipient is going to be from our data that we collected from the booking form. So if we go to value and we pop that in there, it's going to be sending to my email address, right? The one that I filled out as a customer when I filled out the form. The subject, this is where you can go crazy, right? So we're going to go and say maybe Pampered Paws, confirmation, email, confirmation. Oh, this confirming your appointment for, and let's get a little bit like, personal here. So appointment for, and then it was the pet name that they gave us, right? So for us, it would be Precious. That would be the first one here. So that value there. So Pampered Paws, confirming your appointment for Precious. And in the content, what we're going to use here is we're going to use HTML. So we're actually going to build out a confirmation email. So you don't have to fill out this information. We'll just use HTML. And I'll show you how to do that very, very easily and very quickly. So we on ChatGPT using for Omnia Money. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, create. So it's as simple as saying, create a confirmation email for an appointment for my website called Pampered Paws Grooming. So you can start with this and then you can just edit it as you please, right? So this is the confirmation email that we kind of want. And I'm going to say, great. Put it in an HTML format. So now it's going to put it into an HTML format that we can put into make.com. Before we do that, what we want to do, let's just let it finish loading, is what we want to do is when I say copy code, comes to HTML online viewer and paste it in here. Now, this is what it will give us, right? And that's in like an instant. Our customer name, thank you for choosing Pampered Paws Grooming, all the appointment details, the location, any notes, and we can just go and take this. But obviously, we'd want to edit this. Once we've created our HTML and we're happy with it and we've got it over here, I basically put together my own one that I've customized and I will pop it in over here, right? So in this case, all the black values just need to be replaced by the values that are in our paper form, right? So if we go to hi, this is for the customer name, right? So if we go to, what is your name? My name is Jagger. So we're going to add that in over there. So let's get rid of this and we're going to add in that value over there. Perfect. And then we are doing an appointment for, thank you for booking in the grooming appointment for, this will be for the pet's name. So in this case, it's Precious. So, and that will be with Pampered Paws Grooming. Then we've got the appointment details, right? So appointment details, the date. So what we want to do is we want to scroll right to the bottom of here and look at our last data field. So when would you like to book this? Under value, there's start date. So we're going to add that in over there. So let's add the start date, get rid of that. And then let's do the start time. Let's pop it over there. Let's get rid of that. Cool. Then pet name again. So that's fairly simple. We're just going to go to the start here, value, Precious. That's for our pet name. I go there, add in the service, right? So when you scroll down a little bit, it was here. Which service, value, full service, and we're going to pop it in there. So this is for the service. Then we look forward to pampering. Again, we're just going to add in the pet name over here just to make it nice and personalized. So we're going to add in, look forward to pampering Precious. If you have any questions and need to reschedule, contact us. Once this is done, we're going to click OK. That's done. So now that that's done, let's run this, right? It's going to say waiting for data. So let's go reload. Let's fill out information again. So let's say Precious, she's a dog. She's friendly. We're going to do maybe a wash and dry now. Change it up. My name is Jagger. And my email address, my phone number, and let's do it for the 2nd of August at 6 p.m. Let's submit that. Once that's submitted, let's go back to make.com. So paper form worked out, Gmail worked out. So now let's go back to our Gmail. All right, so I'm under my Gmail and I've gone to drafts, and you can see here at 12:51, which has just come in a minute ago, we've got our draft email, booking confirmation. Hi Jagger, thank you for booking agreement appointment for Precious. Appointment details, we look forward to pampering Precious. And this is the confirmation email that you as a business or the agency, if you're an agency and you're building this out to your customer, this is what their business will send to their customer after they've filled out that form. So you fill out the form, you get the confirmation email. Then we have to do a third step, right? So now we have to get all of this into our Makeshift CRM. And for that, we're using Airtable. So you've added an Airtable module and you've noted it as a create a record function. And within that, you can just connect your Airtable account. So you can go to airtable.com, figure that out, add that. And what you're going to do is you're going to connect it to a table, right? So let's go open up Airtable and I'll show you what this looks like. All right, so we're in Airtable and I've created a base called pet grooming, right? So a base is just a table, right? So within pet grooming, we've got a set of tables, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to create a blank table. So if we go and say start from scratch, right? And just go call this pet grooming repeat. Okay, so you'll get this as a starting point in Airtable. What you want to do is you want to be able to go and add in a bunch of columns. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with a date column. And so we'll go in there, we'll say create the field called date. When you enter in the date, don't set it to a date format because sometimes the dates can actually get a little bit, depends on what format you follow, they can, it's a little iffy. So go with a single line of text. Let's make our date a long text. So then you're going to add in a single text for name, which is already there. You're going to put in email address, which we're going to just change over here. So let's just edit that. It's a long text, so you're just going to put in your email. So that's email. And then we're going to go to pet name. Again, that's going to be a long text, so you can just go and say duplicate. Let's go and rename that. We're going to say that's going to be pet name. Also long text. And then we're doing service, which is, again, you can just go and duplicate. For this, you're going to say edit field, go in here, you're going to say what service was chosen. So that's going to be a long text. And then the key one here is, let's just delete Sani, is status. So within status, right, we're going to have different options. So think about a pet grooming business, right? You either have an appointment or you don't, right? So either they'll show up or they won't. So what we'll do is we're going to edit this data. So if we go to edit field and we go to our options, right? So it's a drop down for the status. So the status would either be complete, or the status would be, let's make that red, no show, right? So let's just delete that one. So they're either not going to show up or they're actually going to complete the appointments. And if we click save, we now have two options that you can choose from, no show or complete. And that would be the status of the appointment itself. So we have two more columns we want to add, which is the created dates and time and the last modified dates and time. The reason we're adding these is other processes, the next process we're going to go through is going to be triggered off of the details that are filled out in this Airtable, because this is going to act as our CRM. So when we have no-shows, people who don't show up for their appointments, we're going to note them as no-shows. When they actually come for their appointment and they completed their appointment, you're going to actually note them as complete, and therefore it's going to send up that follow-up email. If they're a no-show, there's no need to send a follow-up email. So we need to know, when are we triggering this from Airtable? We don't want to be sending people tons of the same follow-up email multiple times. It's just going to annoy them. So that's why we need these two fields. So if you scroll down, we've got created time, and we can just literally leave that at that. You could just say created, I can spell correctly today, created date and time. And then again, we're going to add in last modified. So last modified will be last modified date and Fine. Perfect. Alrighty, so great field. So we have Airtable fully sorted. And we've actually got a record in here from when we were testing it out earlier. Okay. All right, so we've got this completely, our Airtable is good to go, ready to go. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to come back to here and we're going to fill out our information. So we're going to connect to the table that we want to, which is going to be pet grooming, right? So in that case, so in this case, we can choose our new table, pet grooming repeat. And now we're going to fill out this information, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to fill out your date. So when would you like to book, right? So we're going to go to value. We're going to go to the start date. This is the date that it occurred. We're going to put in our name. So the customer's name, that's over here. What is your name? Value, boom. Email address. We're going to go to the email address from the paper form. This is all connecting back to our paper form. So I think it was this one here, email address. Yep. And we're going to go pet name. That was the first one. We're going to say, we're going to add in our pet name. We're going to go to service, right? So what's that? I'm going to go to service. Our service we chose was, there we go, that service there. And then the key one we've got here, let's just close that. So when we get to status, you can just leave this blank because this is going to be either approved or no show, which we're going to select within Airtable ourselves. So it's not going to connect back to the paper form. So you can say, okay. So let's say run once. Let's say use existing data from what we've already completed in the paper form. So that runs there, that runs there, that runs there. Perfect. So if we go to paper form here now, and we go to our pet grooming repeats, we will find all of this information has been entered. So my name is Jagger. This is my email address. My pet is Precious. She wanted a full service, or I want a full service for her. And then the status, right? And this come in right today on this time and date. So now the appointment will happen, right? The appointment happens. We actually, we go to the appointment. It's complete. It's done. So the business will now go into Airtable and say, okay, Jagger came in with Precious. This is complete. So we're going to note that as complete. So that is part one. So let's get into part two. Alrighty. So we are on to part two, which is now the follow-up. So the appointments happened. Say it was complete or no show, whatever happened. We're now going to monitor the Airtable for the update, and then we're going to send a follow-up email given. So if it's a no-show, obviously it's a no-show. So if we go to Airtable over here, right, and we note it as no-show, nothing's going to happen. Didn't show up for the appointment, noted as a no-show. You can't really do anything about that. Now, if you note it as complete, what we're going to do is we've set up another automation over here, which watches records within the Airtable, within the table that we've created, and looks for, and we've got a filter on here, looking for the status is set to complete or equal to complete. And if it's set and equal to complete, which is what you'll update as the business owner, it will then draft an email, and it'll send an email in your case to the clients to ask them how their appointment went. So how do we do this? So let's open up Airtable, connect Airtable again, connect to the same base, which will be pet grooming. And then what we're going to do is we have a trigger field. Now, remember we were talking about the creation date and the last modified date? What we're going to do now is we're going to monitor the last modified date. Because it's running on a consistent timer, it's basically going to check every 15 minutes for the last modified date of records. And if there's no new records, then it won't perform the automation, because once it's sent and a follow-up email to the client, you don't want to send another one and another one and another one. So that's why we have this trigger field. The label field is set to status, which is what we've got over here, which is set to status. So we can actually go to our pet grooming one over here. So status, we set to complete, and it will monitor that. And then we check the filter. The filter is saying status, which we've selected from the Airtable, is equal to complete. Once that's done, we are going to then draw up an email if it is complete. If it is complete, we're going to connect our email. We're going to connect to this draft folder because we're just going to make a draft. In your case, you can actually connect to your mail and actually send the email instead of creating a draft. You're going to send an email to the email address that is in Airtable, which has been pulled from Paperform. And then we're going to say the subject. So we're going to say, hi, this is the name of the person. So hi, whoever, did their pet enjoy the service? And maybe we just add in a question mark there. And then again, we're using HTML to develop out a follow-up email, or the content of that follow-up email, to ask the client to rate the service. So if we go and copy this and we go to our HTML viewer, let's get rid of that and let's pop this in. This is what we're going to look at, right? So we followed the star format. It's either 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, or 5 star. And in that case, we're going to say, something we're going to basically add in some details and then ask them to rate the service. So thank you for choosing us to take care of your pet. Would love your feedback. How was your experience today? And then they would basically rate that. Alrighty, so we're going to start this from the beginning again and run right through to when the customer gets the follow-up email. So the first step would be paper form. We are going to say run once. We're going to say wait for new data. Once that's done, we're going to go and open up the pet grooming form. Let's just reload this. So this is the form. We're going to now do one for Lucifer, who I've just done before, but we'll just to show you for this. So we've done one for Lucifer. He's a cat, and he's angry. We want a nail trimming for him. What's my name? Just say my surname out there. And let's do it for the 14th of August for 7:45 p.m. Nice evening nail trim. Submission successful. If we go back to make.com, paper files we received, emails been sent, and Airtable has been updated. So if we open up our drafts and we reload, we should be able to see the confirmation email for the appointment for Lucifer. Where's nail trimming? Here we go. Let's just close this one. Here we go. Lucifer, 7:45 for nail trimming. And then if we go and open up our Airtable, we should be able to see over here in pet grooming, we've got one for Lucifer, nail trimming, and the status. So that's part 1 complete. Then, as the business, we will go in and say, okay, Lucifer showed up for the appointment, and it's now complete. So we're going to click complete. We're going to go to part 2, and now Airtable is going to watch for records based on the last modified date for all complete records. And once it's complete, it will then send a follow-up email because that appointment's been completed. So let's say run once. It's going to run through. Let's see what's going on here. Right. Let's actually update this. So let's run this. Okay, so let's run this and let's see what happens. So Airtable's monitoring. So yes, that checked out. It's checked all complete records, and now it's sent another email. So let's see if that email's been sent through from our drafts. So let's close this one, and let's reload. This should be the follow-up email that you would receive based on all completed records within Hairbase. So there we go. So let's close up that. We say, hi Jagger, did Lucifer enjoy their nail trimming? Thank you for choosing us to take care of Lucifer. We'd love your feedback. How was your experience today? And then the customer will get to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 stars in terms of a rating for their service. Now, I think the question now is, if they click a 1 star or click a 5 star, what happens? And that leads us to our third part of our automation. Okay, so to start this third and final part of our automation, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a webhook. A webhook is a way for different web applications to kind of communicate with each other with make.com. So in order for what you click on these stars, the 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 stars on the email as a customer needs to lead you somewhere. So we're going to create that. We're going to basically scrape in that data and then say, okay, based on this filter, we're going to send you down this path, or based on this filter, we're going to send you down that path. We need webhooks to do that. So what you'll do is add in a new module. So we can actually just go and delete this, and we can say add in a new module, webhooks. You're going to go say custom webhook. You're going to choose a webhook. So in this case, we created a new one. You can just say add. So once you've added your webhook, it will create a link to that webhook. What you're going to do is copy the address to your clipboard. And then what we're going to have to do is we're going to come back to our part 2, which is our email. And in our email, which has our star ratings, we want to replace the link that's in that HTML with the webhook link. So you can use ChatGPT to do this. You can literally just go to ChatGPT, say, hey, this is my email HTML code. Please replace all webhooks with this one, and paste in the webhook we have. So I've already done that, and that'll be in the resources in the link in the description below. So you can see here, we've got our webhooks already added. And in that case, that's going to lead you, when you click on that star rating, any of the star ratings, into this webhook over here, and connects into our part 3, the one we've created here. So I've basically completed this, but we've got the webhook over here, and this is our hook, right? Our webhook. So that's fine. Then you're going to add a router, right? So router is very easy to add. You're just going to click here. You're going to say router. And this is basically, a router is just going to say, bring in the data down one path, and we're going to now split it down 2 paths. And we're going to have first or second path, and that's going to lead to our webhooks in of themselves. So basically, it's going to link to different websites or different endpoints. So if we come back here, we've got our first path is if it's a 4 or 5 star. Because if you think about it, if you give a 4 or 5 star out of 5, you pretty much had a good service. 5 out of 5 is great, or probably a couple of improvement points here and there, but 4 is still pretty good. 1 to 3 starts getting a little bit iffy. 1's terrible, 3's okay. That's why we've created another filter for 1 to 3. The way we're going to do this is you'll add in a webhook over here, and let me show you. So if you go here and you go webhooks, instead of saying custom webhook, what we're going to do is it's a webhook response. So this was a custom webhook to bring in that hook, and now we're going to respond with something. So if you respond, you're going to change the status to 302. Body, you're going to leave blank, and you show advanced settings. You're going to add in a custom header. In here, under key, we're going to do it as location. Location is where we want to send it, right? And then the value, we're going to enter in the value. So if we come back here, we've got a webhooks. We've got 302 location, and then we've got this link over here. So this link over here, if I just copy it, and this is just for, just to show you what could be the case, is this will link to a Google review for a grooming company. Now, it's not our grooming company because our company doesn't exist, but I just picked out any grooming company or dog grooming company, and this is Northern Dog Grooming, and this is their Google review. So you could go and click write a review. So if the customer had a good experience, right? If the customer had a good experience and had a 4 or 5 star rating, and they rated it that, we're going to link them to a Google review page, to our Google review page, right? So that we can say, okay, leave a rating. So, they click that, they go there, they leave a rating. Great. Now, let's deal with the customers that had a bad experience. If they had a 1 to 3 star, if they clicked on 1 to 3 stars, we're going to create, again, a webhook response. Same thing, 302, body blank, keys location. And now we're going to link to basically, in this case, we're going to link to our website. So what we're going to do is we're going to link to something where we've created our website. Now, there's a company called Card with 2 R's that I just discovered, and they do bespoke custom websites for so cheap. I mean, you can do a 7-day trial, and then it's crazy. It's like $19 a year, not even a month, $19 a year. I'm talking US dollars. And I think you can get up to like 40 sites. Don't quote me on that, but let's go and open that up. So if we go to card.com or card.co and we bring it up, let's go to dashboard. So I've created a website for Pampered Paws, right? So let's open this up. These are my sites. Let's go and say restore. And yeah, just to quickly show you, I think it's important, is if we go to card.co, I just want to show you what the pricing is like. It's ridiculous. We go to Pro. Yeah, so $19 a year for Pro Standard gives you 10 sites. So it's not 40, it's 10 sites. But Pro Plus for $49 a year gives you 25 sites. If you're an agency and you're building out websites for companies, this is 25 different companies that you can build out. If you're a single company, you can do the Pro Lite, which is $9 a year. I mean, that's like 2 coffees, and you can have just 3 sites. So really highly recommend card.co. some awesome stuff that they're doing. So anyway, coming back to our landing page for the 1 to 3 stars, right? So I've added in a little bit of a sad puppy here. And what we've done is we've added in some component, and all of these are, changeable. You can just go and change the text on these, change the buttons, change the colors. But basically what we're doing here is we're saying, thanks for your feedback. We're sorry to hear that your experience wasn't up to expectations. We'd greatly appreciate it if you could share more details so we can make improvements. As a token of our gratitude for your feedback, you'll be entered into a lucky draw for a chance to win a free grooming session for your furry friend. Please share your thoughts. They would then enter their thoughts and they'll click provide feedback. And we would be able to then know we can actually, follow up with our customers and that they've provided us details as to what went wrong, where we can give them a ring later on in the week or in weeks to come to say, hey, sorry you had a bad experience. We want to rectify it. But you get in that data, and when you get in that data, you can actually do something about it. This gets them over the line, especially then saying, hey, give us your thoughts. I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but we will put you into this lucky draw and you could potentially get a free groom. And it allows you it gives you another mechanism to actually follow up with your client and with your customer. So let's see how this all works, right? So let's put this into action. So we've got our webhooks over here, our part 3 of our automation. And what we're going to do is we're going to run this. I'm going to say run once. So you can see there, the request was accepted, waiting for data. What we have to do is we go back to our email, right? We load, let's just reload this up. All right. So we've got, did Lucifer enjoy their nail trimming? And we have to basically click on one of the emails over here. So if we go to say, let's do a 1, 2, or 3 star. So if we do 3 star, right? Okay, let's say it was terrible, 1 star. You click that, it's going to take us to our token page. Here we can share our thoughts, and you can basically enter in whatever it is that you need to, and you say provide feedback. That then will provide feedback, right? So with that being completed, we then will try, let's go back to our make.com. So you can see here it connected to the 1 to 3 star, and this highlights green because we basically got in some data over here. You can actually go to custom headers and go to one here, and this links to all of our details over there. So let's say we had a 4 or 5 star rating. So again, let's run this. So this is running, we're waiting for data, and this would run automatically. Right now we're running it manually, but you can set it up that it's automatic based on, new data that's coming in. Let's go back to our drafts and let's say, hey, this was a 5 out of 5. Really, really great, had a great experience, and let's click on that. And this will take you to that Google review page. So based on where the customer wants to, or where the customer rates your service, it will take them to down different paths where you can try and, maybe upsell them, convert them, get the review that you need. And there's so many different things you can do with this. You can maybe give away free products if, they had a good service, or even they had a bad service. It's really up to you or how much you want to do with this, but there's so much you can do. It's actually quite crazy. And there you have it. A 3-part automation that gives you everything you need from creating up a website, taking customer details, booking appointments, following up on those appointments, and then getting in the information that you want from the client post that appointment that is so vital to small business, to either retain that customer as a good customer, someone that you've given good service to, and if it's been a bad service, to understand why. Maybe there's something you can change in your business. Maybe it was a misunderstanding, but then you can, have that database that you can follow up with those customers and make sure you can try and retain them. So all of this is done with pretty much, free tools. It's $19 to $49 a year for card.co. Everything else is pretty much free. Paperform is free. Airtable is awesome. It's like a makeshift CRM. And obviously make.com pulls it all together in a beautiful automation. So I really hope this helped. If you're a small business owner, I hope that you can implement this. If you're looking to build this out for customers, go ahead. This is awesome. If you have any questions on any of the tools or any of the blueprints, automations that we've done, drop a comment below. I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you got some benefit out of this, one thing I do ask is please like, subscribe, That's the only way I really get an indication as to whether I continue doing this. So that's what I'll ask of you, please. And yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one.